My name is Tony Crown. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. The music I play is probably categorized as alternative. But I like to play all sorts of music. But if you were to categorize me as one sort of thing, I would say it's alternative. I started off playing music sort of by myself. Started as a singer-songwriter, band, stool, guitar, voice. Shortly after that, I got involved with another singer-songwriter from St. Louis named Jane Tellini. We started a band called Jane and Anthony. From there, I started a band called Lawrence and the Lion, which was an acoustic folk duo. And I also play in a band called Living Room Lava, which is a hard rock band from St. Louis. And right now, I'm just doing my own stuff under the alias Tony Crown. I grew up in the Massachusetts area, so I was listening to a lot of local Massachusetts bands. Buffalo Tom was a huge influence. I used to listen to Buffalo Tom CDs all the time as a little kid. The band Morphine was also a really huge influence, just really got me into music. And Mark Sandman is an amazing songwriter, just an amazing person. When I started playing music on my own, I discovered the Beatles, Bob Dylan, just sort of like everyone else does. But in terms of my writing, once I discovered Elliott Smith, it was like a whole new door opened, and I really got into his work. The Flaming Lips are also a really huge influence. I really love everything they do, live and recorded. And recently I've just been listening to a lot of David Bowie and finding a lot of inspiration in his work. So non-musically, I'm a certified sommelier, so there's a lot of wine drinking in my life, and you know, a lot of things in painting, a lot of things in photography, just putting your mind in a different creative space. It really helps songwriting. It lets one part of your brain rest, and focusing on another creative avenue opens up all sorts of doors, ideas. The best way to make a living as an artist is probably to do everything you can at all times and hopefully get lucky in one of them. But mostly is to keep working hard and try new things, and if things aren't working, look at what you're doing wrong or look what you did that failed and analyze that. There's no magic behind it. It's just working hard, creating lists, setting goals. Those are all the marks of successful people. And if you want to make a living as an artist, you need to work hard. 1, 2, 3, 4. The album Distant from the Universe is a collection of songs written over several years. A lot of times, lyrically, I'll come up with melodies and just sort of mumble words into a phone and just keep mumbling, and then so an idea will pop out of it. Killing Machine was one of those songs where I just was mumbling and mumbling, and then Killing Machine just sort of just came out, and I was like, that's a really cool idea, I'm gonna write a song around that. As my favorite track on the album, I would say it has to be the track Hang On. It's the most fun to sing. It's probably the weirdest song. The most fun for me to show people because it is so different. It draws a reaction, and I think as an artist, if you're not provoking a reaction, you're not doing good art. So that's easily my favorite song. I would say if I could have my music in one thing, it would have to be The Big Lebowski. It's easily my favorite movie. I think it's one of the best movies of all time. I've watched it probably conservatively over 200 times. I can quote it pretty much start to the end, and that would sort of, if I lived in a dream fantasy world, to have my song The Big Lebowski would be pretty cool. So being from Massachusetts, obviously I love the New England Patriots, and it feels really good to walk around the country with a Patriots hat on and get dirty looks by everyone. It's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. I grew up playing hockey, so I'm obviously a Bruins fan, And I'm in Toronto right now, so I'm kind of a Bruins fan undercover. But yeah, I mean, sports it's great. It's fun, you know. It takes your mind off the serious things in life. You know, if you're a fan of a team, you're part of a community, and you don't know it. And for some reason, humans like put themselves into tribes, and I think sports are part of that too, and it's just part of being a human being, honestly. So, things I like to watch or things I like to do, I like to just sit on YouTube and listen to a lot of podcasts. I think just like everyone else, I like Game of Thrones. The Joe Rogan podcast definitely had a huge influence in my life. He has just a lot of different people, a lot of cool people. And there was one particular person, Robert Greene. The Robert Greene podcast changed my life. So I've read all of Robert Greene books. I think The 50th Law by Robert Greene is easily one of the most influential books in my life. I think everyone should read it. It's, if you want to get your act together, that book will do it for you. My experience in Toronto has been amazing. Just so many cool things, cool artists, and cool venues, and I'm kind of jealous of the people that live in Toronto, actually. But that's what it's sort of all about, is, being able to travel and do music. That's one of the privileges you have. So going to a new place, seeing people, being inspired, that's a big part of artistic development, is exposing yourself to things that you haven't been exposed to. What I'm trying to do in my career is to be the best artist. I'm not trying to be the best singer-songwriter. I'm not trying to be the best painter. I'm not trying to be the best sommelier. I want to be the best artist. And that's sort of my mindset. I've always sort of gone as is the art good? It's, is what I'm doing artistic? And sort of that's my frame of mind when I come at a project or I come at an idea, is this the most artistic thing I can be doing at the moment?